रेहड़ी पटरी ठेले वाले भाई बहनों को आर्थिक मदद मिली है। इसका लाभ कर्नाटक के भी लगभग 2 लाख स्ट्रीट वेंडर्स को हुआ है। मुद्रा योजना के माध्यम से देश भर में छोटे उद्यमियों को लगभग 20 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक का लोन दिया गया है। कर्नाटका के भी लाखों छोटे उद्यमियों को लगभग 2 लाख करोड़ रुपए का बैंक लोन दिया जा चुका है। साथियों, कोस्टल बेल्ट में बसे गांव, पोर्ट के इर्द गिर्द बसे साथियों, मछली पालन से जुड़े हमारे भाई बहनों के जीवन को बेहतर बनाने के लिए डबल इंजन की सरकार विशेष प्रयास कर रही है। थोड़ी देर पहले ही यहां मछली पालन से जुड़े साथियों को किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड दिया गया। गहरे समंदर में मछली पकड़ने के लिए जरूरी नावें, आधुनिक वेसल्स भी दिए गए हैं। पीएम मत्स्य संपदा योजना के तहत मिल रही सब्सिडी हो या फिर मछुआरों को किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड की सुविधा, मछुआरों के कल्याण और आजीविका बढ़ाने के लिए पहली बार इस तरह के प्रयास हो रहे हैं। आज कुलई में फिशिंग हार्बर का भूमि पूजन भी हुआ है। बरसों से हमारे फिशरीज सेक्टर से जुड़े भाई बहन इसकी मांग कर रहे थे। ये जब बनकर तैयार हो जाएगा तो मछुआरों की अनेक समस्याओं का समाधान हो जाएगा। इस प्रोजेक्ट से सैकड़ों मछुआरे, हमारे उन परिवारों को मदद मिलेगी, अनेक लोगों को रोजगार भी मिलेगा। साथियों, डबल इंजन की सरकार देश के लोगों की आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करने के लिए दिन रात मेहनत कर रही है। देश की जनता की आकांक्षा हमारी सरकार के लिए जनता के आदेश की तरह है। देश के लोगों की आकांक्षा है कि भारत में वर्ल्ड क्लास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो। आज देश के कोने कोने में आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण हो रहा है। देश के लोगों की आकांक्षा है कि हमारे ज्यादा से ज्यादा शहर मेट्रो कनेक्टिविटी से जुड़े हो। हमारी सरकार का प्रयास है, उसी की वजह से पिछले 8 साल में मेट्रो से जुड़े शहरों की संख्या 4 गुना हो चुकी है। देश के लोगों की आकांक्षा है उन्हें आसानी से हवाई उड़ान की सुविधा मिले। उड़ान योजना के तहत अब तक 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा यात्री हवाई जहाज में सफर कर चुके हैं। देश के लोगों की आकांक्षा है कि भारत में क्लीन इकोनॉमी हो। आज डिजिटल पेमेंट ऐतिहासिक स्तर पर है और भीम यूपीआई जैसे हमारे इनोवेशन दुनिया का ध्यान खींच रहे हैं। देश के लोग आज तेज इंटरनेट चाहते हैं, सस्ता इंटरनेट चाहते हैं, देश के कोने कोने में इंटरनेट चाहते हैं। आज करीब 6 लाख किलोमीटर ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाकर ग्राम पंचायतों को जोड़ा जा रहा है। 5G की सुविधा इस क्षेत्र में नई क्रांति लाने वाली है। मुझे खुशी है कि कर्नाटका की डबल इंजन की सरकार भी तेज गति से लोगों की आवश्यकता और आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करने के लिए काम कर रही है। साथियों, भारत के पास 7,500 किलोमीटर से भी ज्यादा किलोमीटर कोस्टलाइन है। देश के इस सामर्थ्य का हमें भरपूर लाभ उठाना है। यहां का करावली कोस्ट और वेस्टर्न घाट भी अपने टूरिज्म के लिए इतना मशहूर है। मुझे बताया गया कि हर क्रूज सीजन में न्यू मैंगलोर पोर्ट औसतन 25,000 टूरिस्टों को हैंडल करता है। इसमें बहुत बड़ी संख्या में विदेशी नागरिक भी होते हैं, यानी संभावनाएं बहुत है। और जिस तरह भारत में मध्यम वर्ग की शक्ति बढ़ रही है, भारत में क्रूज टूरिज्म की संभावनाएं और ज्यादा बढ़ती जा रही है। जब टूरिज्म बढ़ता है तो उसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ हमारे कुटीर उद्योग, हमारे आर्टिजन्स, ग्राम उद्योग, रेहड़ी पटरी ठेले वाले भाई बहन, ऑटो रिक्शा चालक, टैक्सी ड्राइवर, ऐसे समाज के छोटे तबके के लोगों को टूरिज्म से बहुत लाभ होता है। मुझे खुशी है कि न्यू मैंगलोर पोर्ट क्रूज टूरिज्म बढ़ाने के लिए लगातार नई सुविधाएं जोड़ रहा है। साथियों, जब कोरोना का संकट शुरू हुआ था तो मैंने आपदा को अवसर में बदलने की बात कही थी। आज देश ने इस आपदा को अवसर में बदलकर दिखा दिया है। कुछ दिनों पहले जीडीपी के जो आंकड़े आए हैं वो दिखा रहे हैं कि भारत ने कोरोना काल में जो नीतियां बनाई, जो निर्णय लिए, वो कितने महत्वपूर्ण थे। पिछले साल इतने ग्लोबल डिसरप्शन के बावजूद भारत ने $670 बिलियन यानी 50 लाख करोड़ रुपए का टोटल एक्सपोर्ट किया। हर चुनौती से पार पाते हुए भारत ने $418 बिलियन यानी 31 लाख करोड़ रुपए के मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट का नया रिकॉर्ड बनाया। आज देश के ग्रोथ इंजन से जुड़ा हर सेक्टर पूरी क्षमता से चल पड़ा है। सर्विस सेक्टर भी तेजी से ग्रोथ की तरफ बढ़ रहा है। पीएलआई स्कीम का असर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर पर दिखने लगा है। मोबाइल फोन सहित पूरे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर में कई गुना वृद्धि हुई है। टॉयज का इंपोर्ट 3 साल में जितना घटा है, करीब करीब उतना ही एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ा है। इन सभी का लाभ सीधे सीधे देश के उन कोस्टल एरिया को भी हो रहा है जो भारतीय सामान को एक्सपोर्ट के लिए अपने संसाधन मुहैया कराते हैं, जहां मैंगलोर जैसे बड़े पोर्ट है। साथियों, सरकार के प्रयासों से देश में बीते वर्षों में कोस्टल ट्रैफिक में भी वृद्धि देखी गई है। देश के अलग अलग पोर्ट्स पर सुविधा और संसाधन बढ़ने की वजह से कोस्टल मूवमेंट अब और ज्यादा आसान हुआ है। सरकार की कोशिश है कि पोर्ट कनेक्टिविटी और बेहतर हो, इसमें और तेजी आए। इसलिए पीएम गति शक्ति नेशनल मास्टर प्लान के तहत रेलवे और रोड के 250 से ज्यादा प्रोजेक्ट की पहचान की गई है जो सीमलेस पोर्ट कनेक्टिविटी में मदद करेंगे। भाई और बहनों, अपनी वीरता और व्यापार के लिए प्रसिद्ध यह तटीय क्षेत्र विलक्षण प्रतिभाओं से भरा हुआ है। भारत के कई उद्यमी लोग यहीं के रहने वाले हैं। भारत के कई खूबसूरत द्वीप और पहाड़ियां कर्नाटका में ही है। भारत के कई मशहूर मंदिर और तीर्थ क्षेत्र यहीं पर है। आज जब देश आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है तो मैं रानी अब्बक्का और रानी चैन भैरा देवी उनको भी याद करना चाहूंगा। भारत की धरती को, भारत के कारोबार को गुलामी से बचाने के लिए उनका संघर्ष अभूतपूर्व था। आज निर्यात के क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़ रहे भारत के लिए ये वीर महिलाएं बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा स्रोत है। हर घर तिरंगा अभियान को जिस प्रकार कर्नाटका के जन जन ने, हमारे युवा साथियों ने सफल बनाया, वो भी इस समृद्ध परंपरा का ही विस्तार है। कर्नाटका के करावली क्षेत्र में आकर राष्ट्रभक्ति की, राष्ट्रीय संकल्प की इस ऊर्जा से मैं हमेशा प्रेरित महसूस करता हूं। मंगलुरु में दिख रही ये ऊर्जा ऐसे ही विकास की राह को उज्जवल बनाती रहे, इसी कामना के साथ आप सभी को विकास के इन प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई और बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। मेरे साथ जोर से बोलिए, भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಜನರ ಆಶೋತ್ತರಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸುವ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಕನಸುಗಳನ್ನು ನನಸು ಮಾಡಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ
All right, Prime Minister Modi's big outreach in the pole-bound state of Karnataka's Mangaluru. I'm going to take you through on the other side of a short break here. Big boost to Indian armed forces. The Indian Navy gets the first indigenous aircraft, Vikrant. Prime Minister Modi inducts the 20,000 crore rupees Vikrant. Also changed the Indian Navy's signage. More details up next.
You are watching India Today.
मीडिया और एंटरटेनमेंट मैनेजमेंट की बारीकियां सीखिए आज तक की अनुभवी टीम के साथ। ज्वाइन करें इंडिया टुडे मीडिया इंस्टीट्यूट।
रजिस्टर करने के लिए www.indiatodaymediainstitute.in पर विजिट करें। Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
I don't read the news. I read between the lines to tell you the true version of events, the true story of our times.
To document grief, the toughest assignment for any journalist to be.
From those who matter,
women politicians going to stick up for each other.
of those who should matter. I document the truth. I don't distort the truth. I don't glamorize the truth. I don't gloss over the truth.
The ghosts of India's contentious medieval history have come knocking again.
I hustle for the truth. On the ground, in the newsroom, in the studio. I don't try to grab eyeballs.
I inform you to make you see the point.
To the point with Preeti Chaudhary. At these times, only on India Today.
Co-powered by RK Marble, Khoobsurat Imandari. In association with JioMart, Har Ghar Ka Mart.
You are watching India Today.
Some big news here. Sessions Court summons the police and the jail superintendent with regards to the Murugamat Seer's arrest. Superintendent Judge Komala has instructed the prison officials to produce Seer Shivmurthy Sharnaru at the court. In fact, the police has appealed. In fact, the police had already asked for at least 5 days of police custody of the Seer for questioning. The court now asking why at all were the court officials not informed about the Seer's whereabouts, that he complained of chest pain, that he was rushed to a hospital. None of that was informed to court officials. That's what the court claims. Court now hitting out at the police for not acting as per protocols. The court saying that, in fact, questioning the police why they were not intimated on the Seer being moved out to a hospital. The judge has asked the prison superintendent to either produce the accused Seer or submit medical reports at court at the earliest. The plea was filed at the 2nd Sessions District Court in Chitradurga. Sagai Raj for more on that. Sagai, one would have expected that at least after the arrest of the Seer, the police will act as per protocols. But clearly they seem to be missing one or the other rule in the book while investigating and taking care of this case. In fact, the court saying the Seer was moved from judicial custody all the way to the hospital, and he's been there getting his medical tests done. You all are taking him to Bengaluru to another hospital, but none of this was informed to court. And the man is supposed to be in judicial custody, but he was barely there for 6 hours and then rushed out complaining he has chest pain. What more do we know?
My court feels that there is something suspicious in this entire saga of him shifted to hospital within 2 hours after he was being sent off for a judicial custody. Judge Komala, who was hearing the police custody plea of a police department, which have requested for 5 days police custody to inquire further. So he was in the judicial custody, and Judge Komala had asked the police authorities that where was he? That's when they have told them that they were unable to bring him to court because he's been shifted to hospital for further treatment. He has reported chest and cardiac issue. And now the judge had asked them to bring him in person or submit a report, medical report of him. And the medical report was submitted, but the judge was unhappy. Now she has asked the police to produce him in person if they require a police custody.
All right. So, Sagai, clarify for us. I want some clarity here. Now, medical reports of the Seer who's complained of chest pain was submitted to court, but the court is not satisfied with those reports. Therefore, they want him back physically present in court. By when?
By now, by around 3:30, he should be there at the court after 3:30, because the hearing started at 3 o'clock. He has submitted a report, and they said that if you require police custody, you should submit him. You should produce him as soon as possible. The jail superintendent and the security has been beefed up near court hall while he's been taken from the hospital to the court. So it all depends upon the court's decision whether they will allow him to travel to Bengaluru for further treatment.
All right, this is huge development coming in. The court seems to be unsparing, sir, guys. The Sessions Court in Karnataka, who has granted 15 days judicial custody, are surprised that the man is not even in judicial custody. He's in a hospital. He's getting his tests done, but no information in court. The court said, bring him, produce him in person, so the further investigation can continue. Medical reports unsatisfactory. The court has not accepted that. They want the Seer himself to be back in court in at least half an hour's time. We're going to continue tracking that story. All right, Supreme Court grants interim bail to Teesta Setilvad. Supreme Court has also asked Teesta Setilvad to surrender her passport until regular bail matter is considered by the High Court. Huge development here. Teesta Setilvad has been granted bail by the Supreme Court. Interim bail has been granted for her. Supreme Court has asked Teesta to surrender her passport until regular bail matter is considered by the High Court. Comes as a big development here. Teesta Setilvad, with regards to the Gujarat riots case, was accused of spreading misinformation and egging victims and misguiding them into filing cases that did not have credibility. These were the allegations against her. She was arrested, and now the court, Supreme Court, as an appeal had gone to Supreme Court asking for bail. As she sought bail, Supreme Court has now granted her interim bail. Teesta Setilvad gets interim bail. Supreme Court has asked Teesta to surrender her passport until regular bail matter is considered by the High Court. Teesta Setilvad, a very well-known activist, she has been accused of misleading investigations in the Gujarat riots case. And now the Supreme Court saying that interim bail has been granted to her. Supreme Court has granted interim bail for now, but of course she's got to surrender her passport. Their Supreme Court, while taking up the matter, also said no reason to deny bail to Teesta Setilvad. In fact, this was the Supreme Court's observations while appeals were filed in court about Teesta Setilvad wanting bail at the earliest. These were attempts made for a few weeks now, and finally the Supreme Court seems to have given her interim bail, but it appears that she's got to submit her passport until the High Court next takes up the matter for regular bail for Teesta. Of course, many concerns about the way Teesta Setilvad has been kept in custody. There were a lot of questions asked as to why she was kept in custody for a prolonged period. Supreme Court also observing that there was no reason to why Teesta Setilvad should not be granted bail, and the Supreme Court now granting interim bail for her, but she's got to forego her passport for the moment. Anisha Mathur joining us live for more. Anisha, Supreme Court, while observing that there was no reason to deny bail to Teesta, has now granted her interim bail, but she's got to submit her passport until the High Court takes up the matter for regular bail. Give us a little more on what the Supreme Court has observed.
Well, there was a long hearing today as well, and there was a hearing yesterday as well, and the court has been concentrating on the fact that Teesta Setilvad is a woman who has been in jail for more than 2 months now. She has also been custodially interrogated by the Gujarat government, and the fact that the evidence against her has been already taken. The court has also observed the fact that the allegations against her pertain to statements and documents that were submitted in 2002. And the Solicitor General also argued that this conspiracy went on till 2012, till when the trial was going on. But taking all of these factors into account, the Supreme Court has granted interim bail to Teesta Setilvad. She will be walking out of the jail either today or tomorrow. But this is regular bail. Remember, the High Court of Gujarat will be considering her plea for regular bail in this particular case, that is regarding allegations of tampering with witnesses, tampering of evidence. What is also interesting to note is that the Supreme Court repeatedly had asked this question, that what exactly is the evidence against her? Is there any witness statement or evidence against her that is not arising out of the Supreme Court's own verdict that was passed in June this year in the Zakia Jafri matter? So taking all of that into account, now the Supreme Court has granted interim bail to Teesta Setilvad. She will have to surrender her passport. She's also been directed to cooperate with the investigation. The court has also given the clarification that the comments that have been made, the remarks that have been made, and the observations that have been made in this verdict will not affect the High Court's decision making. The High Court will have to consider the actual evidence and the actual allegations against Teesta Setalvad while they are hearing her bail plea. So for now, relief for Teesta Setalvad, who's been in jail for the last 2 months. The government of Gujarat, of course, has taken the stance that they do have witness statements, that there are witnesses who said that she gave pre-typed statements to the Gujarat SIT, which had probed the Zakia Jafri case, the Gulbarga Society case. So we'll have to wait and see what happens now.
The allegations were that Teesta was misguiding some of those victims in the Gujarat riots case. That's the reason to why she was arrested, and now after nearly over a month, she's got interim bail. Let me quickly cut across. Stay with us, Anisha. Nalini also joining us for a little more on that. Nalini, over to you on Teesta Setalvad. The human rights activists and the kind of clout that she holds, there was enough and more, voices crying foul after she was arrested, and the way she was arrested, or rather the way she was kept in custody. The Supreme Court, while hearing the matter, while taking up her bail plea, said that there's no reason to deny Teesta bail. So therefore, interim bail has been granted. Give us in a nutshell, what was the allegation against her and what has the Supreme Court now taken note of?
Well, Nabila, if you remember, it was a judgment of the Supreme Court itself where a clean sheet had been granted to the Prime Minister related to the 2002 Gujarat riots, after which Teesta Setalvad was first picked up by the Gujarat police and arrested, citing that there's a larger conspiracy in the entire 2002 Gujarat riots case. What the Supreme Court had said in that judgment, where they granted a clean sheet to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is that there were some elements in the society that had on purpose kept the pot boiling and created this entire controversy, even though it was clear that there was no conspiracy that was behind the 2002 Gujarat riots, on the basis of which the Prime Minister was granted a clean sheet. But now that Teesta Setalvad has come back again to the Supreme Court with a bail plea, seeking bail, the Supreme Court has said, and time and again they've reiterated this, that bail is the rule and jail is the exception. So they've gone ahead and said that at least for now, till the time the High Court is considering the matter and the merits of the matter in the larger aspect, Teesta should be let out on interim bail, keeping in mind her right to individual liberty. And in case the High Court, at the end of hearing the matter on merits, decide that this is not a fit case for bail, then of course the police can take her into custody again. It's an interim bail that has been granted, Nabila. We need to clarify that. She is not going to be out perpetually. It's only for the time that the Gujarat High Court is considering her main plea for bail as to whether or not bail can be granted to her in this case. So it's only an interim bail that has been granted, and the Supreme Court very categorically said in its order that this order cannot be used by any of the other accused, because remember, there are other accused including R.B. Srikumar as well as Sanjeev Bhatt that are also behind the bars in the same case regarding the larger conspiracy behind the 2002 Gujarat riots. So the Supreme Court said in very clear words that this order cannot be used as a precedent by any other accused to grant themselves bail or to approach for bail before any court of law. And this has been done keeping in mind the individual facts of Teesta's case, the fact that she is a lady, the fact that she's already been in jail for several days. Her interrogation has been completed during the time that she was in police custody, and after that she's been sent in judicial custody. Yeah. So there is no reason to keep her behind the bars any longer, and that is why she's been granted bail on an interim basis by the top court today.
All right, Nalini and Anisha, thank you very much for joining us with those perspectives. Teesta Setalvad, interim bail only, has to forego her passport until the High Court takes hearing on a regular bail plea. All right, the Indian Navy gets its first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has commissioned the next-gen INS Vikrant, the largest ship ever built in India's maritime history, in Kochi. Calling Vikrant the symbol of indigenous potential, Prime Minister Modi has said the warship will create new confidence in India. With the commissioning of INS Vikrant, India has joined the elite league of countries with capabilities to indigenously design and build aircraft carriers. Vikrant is a carrier housing state-of-the-art automation features built at a whopping cost of 20,000 crores. The carrier has a capacity to house 1,750 soldiers and can park up to 6 helicopters and 12 fighter jets. The new aircraft carrier is named after the INS Vikrant that played a defining role in India war with Pakistan in 1971.
आत्मनिर्भरता और आजादी को एक दूसरे का पूरक कहा जाता है। जो देश जितना किसी दूसरे देश पर निर्भर है, उतना ही उसके लिए संकट है। जो देश जितना आत्मनिर्भर है, वो उतना ही सशक्त है। कोरोना के संकट काल में हम सभी ने आत्मनिर्भर होने की इस ताकत को देखा है, समझा है, अनुभव किया है। इसलिए आज भारत आत्मनिर्भर होने के लिए पूरी शक्ति से काम कर रहा है। आज अगर अथाह समंदर में भारत की ताकत का उद्घोष करने के लिए INS विक्रांत तैयार है, तो अनंत आकाश में यही गर्जना हमारे तेजस कर रहे हैं। इस बार 15 अगस्त को पूरे देश ने लाल किले से स्वदेशी तोप की हुंकार भी सुनी है। आजादी के 75 साल बाद सेनाओं में रिफॉर्म करके भारत अपनी सेनाओं को निरंतर आधुनिक बना रहा है, आत्मनिर्भर बना रहा है। हमारी सेनाओं ने ऐसे उपकरणों की एक लंबी लिस्ट भी बनाई है, जिनकी खरीद अब स्वदेशी कंपनियों से ही की जाएगी। डिफेंस सेक्टर में रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट के लिए 25% बजट भी देश की यूनिवर्सिटीज और देश की कंपनियों को ही उपलब्ध कराने का निर्णय लिया गया है। तमिलनाडु और उत्तर प्रदेश में 2 बड़े डिफेंस कॉरिडोर भी विकसित हो रहे हैं। डिफेंस सेक्टर में आत्मनिर्भरता के लिए उठाए जा रहे इन कदमों से देश में रोजगार के अनेकों नए अवसर पैदा हो रहे हैं।
All right, for more on that, you could log on to indiatoday.in. You could also download our app for more. Stay tuned. On the other side, we're going to take you through the Lingayat Seer, who's just hours after arrest complained of chest pain, and while he was in judicial custody, has been now moved to a hospital. Court cracking down, asking why no information was given to court on this development. More details up next.
You are watching India Today.
Can pets around us be infected with monkeypox? Yes is the answer to that. In fact, a case was seen in France of a human-to-dog transmission, which then prompted the World Health Organization to come out and say that there is a possibility of animals being infected from humans, and that's the reason why humans who have been infected with monkeypox must isolate from the animals as well. Earlier this week, French researchers documented the first case of a dog with confirmed monkeypox infection in a Lancet report that the dog might have acquired this infection through human transmission. In fact, there has been a lot of speculation in the US already that the outbreak in the country was because of a dog. The WHO, however, says that human-to-dog transmission is actually not surprising. The WHO says that experts have been working with partners such as the World Organization of Animal Health and the Food and Agriculture Organization to address this matter.
This has been a theoretical risk. You may see that a number of public health agencies have advised those who contract monkeypox to make every effort to isolate from their pets or to isolate their pets from themselves because of this hypothetical risk, particularly both in the household for domestic pets as well as in possible risks of contamination of animals outside the household. For example, rodents accessing garbage and things like that.
The CDC has also advised that people with monkeypox should in fact avoid coming in contact with animals, including their pets. The infection can spread with prolonged physical contact, for example, hugging your pet or kissing your pet. Petting, cuddling, licking and sharing sleep areas and sharing food could lead to the spread of this infection. The CDC says pets who had close contact with someone with monkeypox symptoms should also be isolated, should be kept at home and should be kept secluded for some time to observe symptoms. The CDC also says that they're unsure if reptiles, amphibians or birds can get monkeypox. They say it is unlikely since these animals have not been found to be infected with other orthopox viruses.
You are watching India Today.
Very good evening. You're watching India Today. I'm Nabila Jamal. The headlines first. Is the Seer using health excuses to evade jail hours after the arrest? Rape-accused Seer complains of chest pain. He's likely to be shifted to Mangaluru hospital. Rape-accused Seer sent to 14-day judicial custody. Karnataka Chief Minister says that he has been given, in fact, he is conveyed to the police that they have a free hand to carry out arrest and investigation. The arrest, though, comes just after India Today's relentless campaign demanding action against the accused Seer. In a big boost to Indian armed forces, India gets first indigenous aircraft carrier. Prime Minister Modi inducts the 20,000 crore INS Vikrant. Indian Navy freed from colonial relic. Navy flag loses St. George Cross. Prime Minister Modi unveils the new ensign for the Navy. More revelations in Sonali Phogat's murder case. The video of the accused comes up right hours after the murder. Sonali and PA's transactions right now under lens. A bottle used to drug Sonali has been found. All right, the rape-accused Seer raises health concerns. The district court has asked for him to be produced before the court, despite the Seer saying that he has chest pain. He was taken to the hospital. The court now furious that no information was given to court. All right, here are visuals, live visuals coming in of the Seer just being taken out of the Chittadurga hospital. He's now going to be taken to the Chittadurga district court. Big development coming. The court refusing to accept the Seer's pleas, asking for medical help. He was in fact even taken to the hospital in a wheelchair. There was much help as if he was ailing and sick, etc. Several medical tests have already been done, an ECG, a CT scan, all of that has been done. and now the court demanding that he be brought back to court at the earliest. And now visuals coming in of him being moved out of the hospital. He's going to be taken to court immediately. Rape accused Seer raises health concerns, but the district court wants him back. These are live visuals coming in of the Seer being taken out and to court. He was granted 15-day judicial custody. The police also wanted at least 5 days of custody of him for questioning and investigation. But in the meanwhile, barely 6 hours in prison, the Seer immediately complained of chest pain. Then he was quickly rushed to the Chitradurga hospital, where he was taken to the ICU. And then an ECG, a CT scan and various other tests were done just to assess his heart health. And it appears that the police have submitted his health documents and reports to the court, but the court seemed unsatisfied. They were not satisfied with what was given to them, and therefore strictly asked for the Seer to be brought back to court. He must be appearing now. The court will decide on several issues, including a bail appeal that's been filed by the Seer's counsel. These are visuals coming in of the Seer being taken out and into court. Let me quickly cut across to Sagai to get us a quick understanding on the developments that we see on our screen. Sagai, live visuals coming in of the Seer being moved out. So these are visuals coming in from the court or from the hospital, the exit area of the hospital. He's now been moved to court. Tell us more.
Now, as you rightly pointed out, there's an exit area of Chitradurga Government Hospital. As a part of investigating procedure, the police have moved Chitradurga court, requesting court to grant 5 days of police custody for them to investigate further. And much before they could even take him over for a remand in police, he had shifted to hospital complaining of chest pain and cardiac issue. And later on, he was being shifted and he was being examined. 3 o'clock, the hearing came at Chitradurga court. The judge Kobala had asked, where is the accused? He should be physically present if he is being handed over for a police custody. That's when the jail superintendent says to the court that he was unwell and he was shifted to the hospital. The furious judge had questioned the superintendent why he was shifted without intimating the court, because he was under judicial custody. You should inform him much before you could even take him to the hospital for any kind of medical issue. And they have asked the jail superintendent to bring him in physically at the court or else to submit a medical report on him. The jail superintendent later on submitted the medical report. They were unhappy. Judge Komala asked the jail superintendent to produce him as soon as possible. As we speak, we have seen the visuals that the police have taken Shivamurthy Shanu, the Seer, to the Chitradurga court, where he will be produced physically in front of Judge Komala, where she will take a call whether to give police custody or continue with the treatment. If they have to continue the treatment, he might be shifted to Mangaluru. But all depends upon a judge's verdict on this particular issue, judge's decision whether to allow him to continue with the treatment or to be handed over for a police custody for further investigation.
All right. Development coming in. Sagai, like you rightly said, the court there not entertaining any kind of pleas of medical issues, etc. They're saying nothing doing, come back to court. But a quick word, and again, if you can reiterate, what's going to happen in court? What's the court going to be hearing at this point?
See, the court have to consider whether they can allow Seer to continue his treatment at the hospital, or it will be given for a police custody. He should be handed over for a police custody, because at a part of investigating procedure, police have to move a petition to the court whenever a person is in a judicial custody seeking for a remand under police custody to investigate further. And that's when the court asked the accused to be present physically at the court. And when he was not present, the judge was furious and asked them why he is not present. As I told you earlier, the saga continues. They said that he was unwell, he was shifted, but the court was furious that why you didn't inform us much before you could even shift them to the hospital.
You know, give us a timeline, Sagai, right? When was he arrested last night? And then where was he taken to? And then how many hours did he spend in jail? And then when was he moved to hospital citing chest pain?
around 3 o'clock, he was sent to prison. Around 2 o'clock, he was at the hospital. From 2 o'clock, he was taken to magistrate court. After finishing the formalities and things, the magistrate court said that he will be sent for a 14-day judicial custody. Immediately, he was shifted to Chitradurga prison around 3 a.m. And around 8:30, he had reported chest pain and a cardiac issue. What we also get to learn is he didn't have dinner last night and he didn't have food yesterday afternoon. And even this morning when he was shifted to hospital, he refused to have his breakfast. So that's the reason probably the BP would have had some kind of variation. So after around 8:30 when he reported the chest pain and cardiac issue, around 9:10, they brought him to this particular hospital, Chitradurga District Government Hospital, and he underwent treatment. There were several tests which have been conducted at this hospital, and later on he was shifted from emergency block to ICU, where he was undergoing treatment till now. Now he has been shifted to the court, where he will be physically present for a hearing, where police have sought for 5 days police custody to investigate further.
All right, I'm going to cut across to Nagarjun as well. Nagarjun joins us on the phone line. So guys, stay with us. Nagarjun, the Seer may have expected to have been given some kind of preferential treatment. At least the way the things have panned out, it almost appears it's gone as per a script, where he was arrested late in the night, disappeared somewhere midway, no one knew where he was taken to, and then he was granted 15-day judicial custody, and just barely 6 hours after he was put in prison, he complained of chest pain, moved to a hospital, and then now they're mulling over moving him to another hospital in Bengaluru, as if the man is sick and ailing. Just days ago, we saw him hale and hearty and walking about inside his mud premises, defiant. Suddenly, after the arrest, he's had heart ailments and all sorts of issues with ECG tests, etc. being done. The court now not entertaining any of this drama, saying enough is enough, come back to court, bring him right this minute. In fact, medical reports were submitted to court, but the court has not accepted it. Unsatisfactory.
Nabila, what you said is absolutely right. When we see VVIP cases, suddenly the accused develops chest pain or some health issues and then gets moved to hospitals for treatment until they get bail. This has been a constant scheme of thought for the accused, and that's the loophole in the law that they use for the heart ailments or any other medical emergencies. What we are picking up from right now is the judge is absolutely not okay or in agreement with the medical report that's been submitted. The Justice Judge Komla, who's of the JMFC Chitradurga court, saw the medical reports, and she also verified with her own doctors for the court, and she felt that she didn't need to be admitted. What you said was exactly true. 3 days back, we saw the mud seer standing at the balcony and addressing the devotees, saying the support that I see here encourages me more, gives me positive attitude. And today we see him being admitted to ICU. For what reason is the question that's being asked? When I spoke to the activists this morning, all of them alleged that this is a classic example for VVIP treatment done by the police department here. And every time there's a high-profile case, the accused always goes and gets shelter in the hospital and gets royal treatment under the roof of, say, cardiac ailments or liver ailments or some other major medical emergency, and that has to be changed. No other cases will this happen. In FOXO case, if at all a normal common man is accused of it, firstly, he would be arrested on day one without giving any 7-day pre or buffer time. Secondly, even if he had genuine heart ailments, he would be first consulted in the prison and then taken a second opinion somewhere else, and then maybe moved to the hospital if it's genuine. But here nothing happened. The Swamiji didn't sleep in this prison. He didn't drink water, and he was a bit dizzy. Immediately what we see, the police department moves the Swamiji or the Seer to the hospital, and then after the ECG, they say he has to be admitted to ICU. Post the ICU, they get doctors from Davangere. Post that, they want him to move to Jaideva Hospital, which is in Bangalore. For what reason is the activists are questioning? For what reason is the Seer getting such a treatment?
Yeah.
Judge also is of the same opinion today.
You know, Nagarjun, I'd really like to ask you, what happened with all those tests? Have they got the reports of all the ECG, CT scan, etc., his basic vitals? Is it functional? Is he okay? Or do the reports say something else? Is there a real grave health issue that has been detected or not?
The blood tests are yet to come in because it would take around 4 to 5 hours is what we are told. So this morning they have taken blood samples. Few of them have come back and few of them are awaiting the test results. But ECG was instant. And the Seer also has BP and diabetes, also diabetic. So these are normal for any 60-year-old or senior citizen, is what his lawyer also said. The advocates representing the victim side said that this is very normal for any senior citizen. Most of them suffer diabetes, either high blood pressure. The same thing is undergoing from the Swamiji also is undergoing the same thing. It doesn't need hospitalization. Regular tablets.
Reason for him to be moved to the ICU, Nagarjun?
That's exactly the question. This is a call taken by the local health department and the local police department that suddenly he developed heart ailments overnight, where he didn't seem to be very dizzy or tired 3 days back when we saw him on camera. And now it has gone up to an extent where it's critically serious to be moved to ICU. But the visuals that we are seeing in him being on the wheelchair, he seems to be hale and healthy and fit and fine. If it's ICU, you know, all of us have one or the other time have seen how ICU works, and ICU is only for critical people or emergency situations. And is this an emergency situation is what the protesters are also asking. I covered a protest this morning. Most of them had the same question, that why is this Seer getting a VVIP preferential treatment?
All right, Nagarjun, do stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to Sagai, who's also in Chitradurga there, tracking and towing the police vehicle where the Seer is being moved towards court now. Sagai, what's the commotion that you see there? Has the police vehicle moved towards court? Any word on how the Seer is doing? The man who's claimed to have chest pain, is he okay now?
There are no health bulletins from the doctors or from the district health officers so far. They are saying that he was unwell. There was fluctuation and differences in his medical reports than what they have seen last night. But so far, we didn't get any kind of official report on the same. As we speak now, he's been taken to the district magistrate office here in Chitradurga, where he'll be produced in front of Judge Komala, who have asked the jail superintendent to produce him physically if he has been handed over for a remand to the police to investigate further.
You know, if you can, Sagai, if you can hear me, who's accompanying? Are there other Lingayat Mutt Seers who otherwise at the Mutt that day we saw all of them overwhelmingly supporting the Seer and landing up to show solidarity, etc. Today, are we seeing any of that kind of support, be it at the Chitradurga hospital, or is there anyone accompanying the police vehicles just to follow up on all the progress here with regards to this investigation, only so that they show that they are with him, they're standing with him wherever he goes? Is there support?
No, we didn't see any Seers or pontiff in and around the hospital or near the court. We only saw a few office bearers of that particular Mutt, including a judge, who were present at the hospital, and they also spoke to us earlier, where they said that he is still unwell. Early in the morning, a few Seers came with the prasada and handed over to him when he was in the hospital. But still, it is a protocol breach if they try to get inside, because we saw them going inside. We are not sure whether they have given that prasadam to him, because he's an unwell person. Why they have to give
under this POXO Act, once he's arrested, you can't have people meet him.
By the police.
Sagai, stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to Pramila Nesargi, a voice coming from the BJP, to give us some more information. She's also an advocate herself. Ms. Pramila here, the Seer has complained of chest pain. He was rushed to the hospital, and now the court, not sparing, said that he must be brought in person to court for the hearing on police custody. Questions being raised on whether this is all drama, whether this is all working to a script. The man who was hale and hearty suddenly complains of chest pain and then is taken to the ICU, which is ideally meant for critical emergency patients. There's nothing emergency in this case here with him.
You and I have not witnessed. We have not seen what is going on. Do you mean to say the jail doctor has filed a false opinion? He shifted the patient to the hospital. It's a false thing. And then let us be an inquiry held against all those persons who have been responsible for admitting in the hospital and the doctors who have given opinion. I have no objection whatsoever. But you can't go on saying that something is wrong. You can't see if you see in an X-ray, what will you see for a man? You will see only the bones and muscles. That is what is happening in this particular case, and for no reason. Like, law is going on, investigation is going on step by step, and they arrested him. You people wanted him to arrest, even that one, according to me, even that arrest is also not in accordance with the law laid down by the Supreme Court and the guidelines laid down.
What do you mean, Miss Nesargi?
That's about these things.
Miss Nesargi, if you can hear me.
What the magistrate has to do is whether the arrest itself was proper. She has to look into it. What does the law say? If a person is arrested, he must be given an assistant. Have they given anyone here? Nothing has been done. That is the law of Supreme Court time and again as well.
No.
Now, everything is going contrary. Because of
Miss
the
Nesargi,
pressure
are you able to hear me? Miss Pramila Nesargi, are you able to hear me?
Pressure by the media.
Miss Nesargi, are you able to hear me?
The police are not allowed to act freely.
Miss Nesargi, are you able to hear me?
What is happening? And now the magistrate says, he is not disobeying, he is not saying, I'm not coming. Did he say
hear me?
To hospital? He did not say. Police brought him and admitted. And did he say, you doctor must let? No. He has been politely, he's a prajna. He's been obeying whatever they say. They brought him to hospital. They wanted to have the infection, whatever.
Miss Nesargi, are you able to hear me?
Now the magistrate says, bring him. He's going. He's obeying the orders. Let us see what the magistrate does. Now that I am told that...
Miss Nesargi, you're able to hear me, are you?
Yeah?
Yeah, Miss Nesargi, tell us where do you think the police has gone against the law by arresting him? Tell us what you know of the POCSO Act. Under POCSO Act, what's the ideal protocol of an arrest? Tell us what under POCSO Act is it allowed for a man to be free for 7 days? Under POCSO Act, what is the right protocol? Why don't you tell us? You're an advocate.
I do not want to tell. It's all a distance. We'll come. We'll tell you what happened. Is there a thing called reputation? Have you heard of reputation? And you know, Supreme Court also has said right to reputation is a fundamental right. Have you seen how the reputation is gone on? Is there a constitution violation? What has the Supreme Court said? What has Bhagavad Gita said? I will tell you in detail later. This is not the time. Let the investigation go on. Let the magistrate order whatever she wants.
You are already casting aspersions on the investigation, Miss Nesargi. Miss Pramila Nesargi, you're saying what the police is doing is wrong. You're saying that he shouldn't have been arrested. You're saying that his arrest is itself against the rule book. I don't know on what grounds and basis you're saying it, or you're saying this.
If the reputation of the person is spoiled, it offends the fundamental right.
Madam, this is a POCSO case. Do you know the severity of it?
Case is a case. Am I disputing the POCSO case?
Then you're disputing the police's arrest? Why are you disputing the police's arrest?
It won't make many things.
You are disputing the police's arrest?
Everyone knows. Case has been filed, POCSO case has been filed, and I am aware of it. Sections of the POCSO, I am also aware of it. Whether the POCSO case charges leveled against him, is it connivance, is it conspiracy, it is real or fake, is yet to be investigated.
So why are you saying the police is going against the law by arresting him? You're an advocate. You're a very senior lawyer, Ms. Pramila Nesargi.
Police have done that investigation, and that's what they have materials. Let us see. Just because the statement is there does not become a prima facie case. They must also investigate about the connivance case here.
It's very unfortunate, Ms. Nesargi, that you feel that the police are acting out of line. Very unfortunate.
That won't take them anywhere.
Very unfortunate, Ms. Nesargi, that you feel the police is acting out of line despite being a senior advocate. But appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Nesargi.
It is at the intent and the pressure.
All right, let me quickly cut across to our reporter there, Sagai Raj, who's been tracking those developments. Sagai, some of the voices are really shocking. Even till today, believe that the man's reputation is ruined because the allegations haven't been proven. It's for the police to do their duty to investigate and then prove the man guilty. Until then, why are we casting aspersions? Some people there, including Pramila Nesargi, who's a senior advocate lawyer there, claims that this arrest itself is out of line, that there should have been time given for the man to respond, etc., etc. It's unbelievable. Under the POCSO Act, doesn't seem like there's any seriousness applied with this case from some people within the close circles of the government.